everyone already got to acquaint to know each other. I'm pretty sure this will definitely going to elevate subsequent series from here onwards. Not only a webinar series only particular to this pandemic situation, but however this is just a kickoff, so that we are trying to reach out to the the lower primary education as well as the higher level of education, especially when it comes to the examinations. And we would all like to know your experiences, how to take it from here onwards.
Professor Raghavendra, I have one small clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
In the questions that you had sent, can you just read the question number 8?
Hello.
Yeah.
Ma'am, let me
Hello.
just start once. Let me introduce you all, because we are live on YouTube, and
Okay.
yes, and most of the participants have joined us on Zoom as well. So please allow me to start, and then we can
Eight
take it.
question. Just one small thing. Do the digital exam affect the students' cognitive?
Assertive as well as psychomotor skills, madam.
Is it assertive? Should it be effective?
I'm sorry, it should have been effective.
Affective.
Yes.
Just one. Yeah, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor sets.
Very good. So it's part of a Bloom's taxonomy, madam.
Yeah, Bloom's taxonomy. That's why I just wanted a clarification on that.
All right.
So much. Thanks a lot, everyone. Please allow me to start. And before we begin, I would like to thank everyone, those who have joined us via Zoom and via YouTube, because without your overwhelming response, I think it would be impossible to bring so many dignitaries together on one platform and get their views. So if you are joining us, everyone on Zoom, please send a thumbs up. And if you are joining us on YouTube, please don't forget to flood the comment section. And before we begin, I would like to thank all the academic partners from these institutions who have joined us. And let me introduce myself. I am Mr. Amay Agrawal. I'm the founder of Zovy and SkillSlate. The reason why we have brought this session today is because examination is one of the toughest tasks right now, because examinations are the doorways that leads to academic progress. And with COVID and this lockdown, I think examinations have become a roadblock. And by the time these roadblocks will be removed from our path, I think the entire pathway would be changed. So this session will be on this, like how you can take better examination, how you can prepare yourself and your student for the new changes in the examination. So please allow me to introduce all the dignitaries today, and later we can begin with our session. First of all, we have our resource person, Dr. Sangameshwara. He is the former AICT advisor, former vice chancellor of JSS Science and Technology University, Mysore. We have with us very dynamic Professor Raghavendra, who is the controller of examination of MIT World Peace University, which also happens to be my alma mater. Dr. Raghavendra will also be our moderator and host today, who will keep the session on track and will also answer the question, ask the specific question to the moderator, to all the participants who are at the session and all the resource persons who are guiding us today. Next, we have with us Dr. Nalini Dwarkanathan. She is a psychologist and trained CBT from Indian Institute of Information Technology, Bangalore. Professor Rupesh Mundada, who is the Deputy Controller of Examination Medical at DY Patil University, Nerur, Mumbai. Next, we have Dr. Shiba Joyce, who is the Associate Dean, Professor and Deputy Head at Savita Engineering College, Chennai. Dr. L. Sanjeev Kumar, who is the Professor and Head of Department at SSIT, Tumkuru. Dr. John Manohar, Professor and HOD at KS School of Engineering and Management, Bangalore. Dr. Sadashiv Gowda, who is the Principal of Vidhayak Wardha College of Engineering, Mysore. And Dr. Adinath Damle, who is the Controller of Examinations, Sanjeevani College of Engineering, Kopargaon. Now I would like to hand over to our host and moderator, Dr. Raghavendra, who will take this session ahead. And at the end, if we have time, I also request Dr. Raghavendra to take questions from the audience before handing it over to me for the closing remark, so we can also address the question from all the participants. Over to you, Dr. Raghavendra. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amya. Thank you, Amya Agarwal, for giving me a wonderful opportunity to have a discussions with wonderful academic luminaries around us. It is a very great start for us, to at least to understand or to crack or decode the examinations perspective of it. So, as it has been already been introduce the eminent panelists around us, it will be a great opportunity for me to have a first word with our one of the panelists, Dr. Sadashiva Gowda, as well as John Manohar sir, to understand how things goes on about. Sir, how do you see the post situation to conduct of examinations? Sir, my question for you, how do you see the post pandemic situation to conduct the examinations at higher education for the university level? Sir, you can unmute yourself. Amaya? Amaya?
Yes, yes.
Well, Sadashiv Gowda sir's voice is muted.
Let me check, sir. Sir, it's not muted from my side. Sadashiv, sir, please try.
Yeah. Now, is it audible?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So firstly, good afternoon to all of you,
Good afternoon.
esteemed panelists. My view on post-pandemic situation, how we are going to conduct examinations. Number one, already UGC has issued guidelines. Now, based on that, we can modify here and there, or we can completely adopt the UGC guidelines. Now, we have to have multiple plans, plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, because we don't know exactly what would be the situation and how long this situation is going to continue. According to me, the plan A is, we need to maintain a sufficient social distancing. This is, and also safety of the students is of paramount importance. Keeping that in mind, what we can do, we can call only, let us say there are 4 years, only 25% of the students can be called to the campus and we can conduct the examination. That is, the remaining 75% will be in their respective homes. And once you complete, you can call the next batch, maybe first begin with final year, then third year, second year, and the first year. That is one way of approaching how we can conduct the examination. The plan B is, you have already continuous internal evaluation. That can be given a weightage of 100%. That is the plan B. In case we are not able to call the students to the campus, maybe perhaps we can, we don't need to conduct the semester end examinations. We can do away with that. We can assess completely based on the continuous internal evaluation, and that is quite possible. The plan C is, hello.
Carry on. Please
We
carry
are
on.
going to have problem with the labs, yes, but labs can be conducted at a later time. And for all the theory subject, we can go for the online examination. In the labs, it is not possible for the online examination. That it may be possible if you have some simulation tools. But the other plan is that the final plan D, what we can do, we can assume that all these things are not possible because of other problems like bandwidth, rural areas, and many other issues. What we can do, we can conduct all the examinations next semester. That is in the 2021 academic year, one semester every week. Thereby, it is possible to conduct all the examination in the first 1 month or 2 months of 2021. These are my views on.
Yeah. I take it because your views are very concise with towards the technology or the engineering college perspective. Now, I would like to invite myself, Dr. John Manohar, if you can unmute yourself. I would like to take a views from what the management students could able to explore the present situation, and what is your views on a post-pandemic situations or to conduct examinations. Sir, you please unmute yourself, sir. Unmute your.
It's not.
Hello, John Manohar, sir. I think that has got a little technical glitch with him. John Manohar, sir, please unmute yourself. Okay, I will throw the same question to Professor Rupesh Mundanda, sir, as he comes from the medical background. Sir, how do you see this situation for the pandemic? To conduct the examinations. Engineering or any other fields are much different when it comes to the medical examinations. How you see
exactly, sir.
How you take this forward ahead?
Actually, sir, the medical part is governed by the MCI. Though we are a deemed university, we have to follow the guidelines which are issued by the MCI. So MCI says that your 50% weightage for the student is for the practical examination and 50% is for the theory examination. So though we conduct our theory examination online, still we have to wait for the practical examinations, because we cannot conduct those practical examination in online sessions. Or the part B is, if the situation not get improved, what we can do the Skype practical examination by inviting the professionals from the different universities on the Skype and giving them and the experts should ask them the real situations and what will be their view on that particular situation, what kind of drugs they can give, what kind of treatment they can do. Based on this, we can assess the students.
Unmute.
So this is what my view on the
Sangameshwar sir, you are clear. Sangameshwar sir, you are clear. Need not to worry. You need not to worry.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Rupesh sir, you carry on.
So because we have to conduct the practical examination for the medical students. We cannot let them go through based on their practical theory examinations. Because the practical examination is the backbone for the medical students. How they, though they are very good in the theory examination, some of them are not that much good in their practicals. But for few means, if you see in the future, the doctors who have the good practical skills, they are only successful.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your views from the from the perspective of medical university. Considering what Dr. Sadashiva Gowda sir and as well as you said, I would like to invite Dr. Biji Sangameshwara sir. Sir, you were a advisor ACT as well as former vice chancellor. Your expertise towards the examination conduct at present situation. How categorically that is able to for us, because engineering are much different from medical.
For any education system, what we have to consider is primarily the learning is the major issue. Unfortunately, in our country, we focus more on the conduction of examinations. How to conduct examination. We give a lot of weightage for the examination system. So examination should be conducted to the and students should feel that he is in the comfort zone. So for such a thing, even Dr. Gowda Sadashiva Gowda has given 3-4 options. So I would say first I will take up the practical examinations even in the science colleges and also for our engineering and technology institutions. There is no need to conduct the final exam. We can do the continuous internal evaluation till end and the vivas, because anything evaluation means the teacher should know the student very well. See, what is happening is the main universities conducting thousands of students examination as a common system. So it leads to a lot of problem and to end up in conducting only examination. So what I would suggest is it should be in parts, but that takes more time for us to get into that. And thinking of online, it needs more time to prepare. You need a lot of resources. There is a need of, it is not just we have a Zoom and other facilities as a commonly available, we can conduct an exam. As Dr. Gowda mentioned in part A, I would suggest about 70% of in the continuous internal evaluation and 30% maybe as the final examination. Now, because, but it should be, currently the resources are very difficult. So it can be on a campus based. For example, if you take Karnataka as example, VTU is conducting for 200 colleges an exam. So a student from Mysore stays in Davangere because he cannot come due to the COVID-19 problems. So one can do a campus-based examinations. A nodal centers can be identified because it's a common question paper in that case. Whereas in the case of a smaller universities, they can have a campus-based in the beginning, and slowly it can be done as a like any other GRE or any other examination. Recently, you see the US, which is very popular in online examination and courses, There are 25 universities recently facing a lawsuits from the students, which I have sent a small WhatsApp to you to circulate among the panelists. So jumping directly to an online examination has to be slowly, it is a must, because Banerjee today, Abhijit Banerjee has said, in India it is scalable. It is scalable to a very great extent possible, but it takes time, even though it is proven in other places. In India, it is a different situation. A smaller groups where you can conduct the online examination, that can be currently one can experiment with a PG courses. But campus-based is the one which we have to do at present. It can be done in batches or it can be done in two different campuses also. So this is my view regarding the MCI. I am not much knowledge on the medical examination systems, but theory CIE should be 100%. CIE is not a advisable thing. So you have to evaluate. The 30% of evaluation can be done as mentioned in the next semester as far as the present case is concerned. But you have to have an proper planning, and it can be around 2 to 3 years if you plan very well and all that. Step by step, one can take these things and go ahead with examination. But according to me, learning should be given importance. If you give more importance to learning, examination is only a part of learning, and the evaluation, it can be done.
Very true, very true. Well, I consider that, sir, examination is just to measure the the level of the knowledge which is been carried out by the student. By large, around 90% of the the takeaway is about what they carry. As you always used to say that the incoming could be something rough or it could be ups and downs. But what we go out should be the very same, isn't it? The knowledge,
important.
The exit is a more important, and that is what we are all now discussing about it.
Yes.
Yes. Now, given in a situation like this, if an opportunity breaks out from the any given agencies, say suppose from converting from the conventional examinations to the digital examinations, and there could be possibilities that let the agencies like MCA have a different opinion, Bar Council of India might have a different opinion, Pharmacy Councils of India might have a different opinion. Taking all inclusively, if suppose that tomorrow, if not today, by another 1 year or by another 5 years, if we see digital examinations, anyhow, we could able to see that few universities like Manipal or Vellore Institute of Technology already jumping into the digital examinations. Say suppose if UGC might come out or AICT might come out or MHRD might give a guideline, the digital examination could be one of the possibilities by strengthening the education system. I would like to put this question to Dr. Shiba Joyce because she comes from the autonomous institution. Madam, your views on this, madam?
Professor Raghavendra, now I have come in.
Yeah, I'll take you, sir. You please be silent now.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Shiba Joshi, madam, I would like to
Yes,
add,
sir.
I would like to know, say suppose tomorrow, when exams completely getting digitalized tomorrow. So what sir said,
Yes.
Sadashiva Gowda sir said, like stimulation could be a possibilities. Okay, digitizing the examination is also one of the possibilities. So how you see digitalizing the examinations? What is your pros and cons? What is your opinions on this, madam?
Yeah, sir. So regarding the completely digitizing the entire thing, it is possible, but not immediately. It might take some time. Given some time, we can the faculty has to be trained. First thing is designing the question paper. So for online, it is not that easy to design a question paper because there are several ways of testing the integrity of the students as well. So in that case, we need to think before designing a question paper. The faculty has to be trained in setting a question paper first. So that will be the first criteria. And the next, there are certain softwares that that can be installed along with the browser where they can be monitored. Proctorial softwares are available. Probably the institutes might use it. But again, all these are not possible for all the institutions. That too, net bandwidth connectivity issues are all there. So if it is going to be in urban, it will not be a big problem. But when coming to concentrating on rural institutions, rural places where you have institutions at rural places, there will be some issues regarding connectivity, bandwidth problem, and all that. So in that case, it will become a difficult one. Again, the student's background, the student at home, they should have all these facilities to take up that online from their own homes. Say they'll need a system, they'll need the webcam, all such facilities will be required. So these are the issues, the challenges that we might have. But over a period of time, it will be definitely possible. Considering India, previously the number of users who used mobiles were very less. Nowadays, almost 95% of us are having mobile phones, and that too not an ordinary one. It's all smartphones with Android. So it will be easy for them to change over to the technology, but it will definitely take some time. Gradually, it can be brought in. Probably, as Sir has suggested, it will take around a year for us to get implemented. The faculty members have to be trained. The students have to be told the ground rules. They need to understand. All that is there. So it might take around a year to settle down.
Sure. Sir, regarding talking about the very same information or same context, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar sir, you come from the Siddhartha University, where one of the leading private universities in South India. And how do you see the digitizing the examinations? What are the pros and cons that you feel, or you may opinionate on this in this topic, sir?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
What I watched the Shiba Jo's what she said. Yes, our country has already changed a lot of things. The network issues and all, even the laptops for the students and the mobiles and all. Even government is also supporting like anything for the students. And at the same time, the technical issues like the technical glitches what we are facing with respect to the bandwidth and all those things, that can be addressed by the government, so that this can be made mandate for all the students, so that it can be implemented in future days. And what I feel is, with respect to digitalization, the different skill set of the students can be measured very easily, rather than in in our current examination system. The same, for example, if you take any questions, that can be seen in a different angles. So a teacher now, there will be a lot of work for the teacher to think in that direction, and they need to give a creative questions, so that the same problem can be addressed in the different way for the different student, so that we can see the creativity of the student, and then the technical skills of the students, and all those things can be measured very easily with this digitalized examinations. This is my opinion, sir.
Exactly. I could able to take that narrative. By and large, when we are discussing about the student committee, that affects them. All these days we are all discussing about the three kind of skill sets. One is the cognitive, affective, as well as the psychomotor skills. Now today being a very challenging at this post-pandemic situation about the technical skills also. Yes. I request Sadashiva Gowda sir, can you able to elaborate few things regarding about the digital examination, especially when it comes to the precautionary measures, because you come from the engineering background, the technical savvy is more than how you see that the online examinations, what kind of security measures can be built in up with respect to the technicality sort of it. Sir, unmute, sir. I request you to unmute.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I do it now. Sir, technical difficulties with engineering stream, particularly for conducting online examinations, could be many. The reason being, you cannot conduct online examinations for all the engineering subjects. As already other panelists mentioned, like narrative part will be completely lost. Then there are subjects like design subjects. There are problem-based subjects. See, if you have mentioned about cognitive skills, you can check the basic, maybe the remembering, understanding, to a certain extent application. But the analysis part will be lost. And then the evaluation part will be lost. Creativity part will be lost. So you cannot check all those things through online examinations. So it requires a detailed analysis, descriptive type questions. There you will be able to evaluate the student because you cannot conduct the examination only to select a group of students. Take a typical class, there will be very good students, mediocre and below mediocre. And the students may be extremely good using digital technology. There are students who come from rural areas, they may not be so technical savvy to use digital technology to solve certain problems. You can have multiple choice questions. You can have OMR sheets. Yes, I think engineering is more of applications. The application part cannot be checked digitally. See, it is not like, you study for the entire one semester and check in 3 hours. No, you need to evaluate them comprehensively. That may be I would say, hindrance in evaluating the students comprehensively. Of course, you can have continuous internal evaluation as Professor Sangameshwar sir mentioned, because you need to give more weightage for the learning process rather than the examination process. I totally agree with him. But at the same time, the examination process must have the sanctity where you cater to all kinds of students, slow learners, and also bright learners or fast learners. So when the examination system caters to all kinds of students, yes, it is fair. You are given fair opportunity to every student in the institute or in the university. Assuming if you use digital technology extensively, there are students in the rural areas, they don't know how to use certain technologies, particularly maybe the mobile phones. You may say smartphone, yes, but still, for this purpose, they may not be. And it is not advisable to teach online throughout. It may also have some health hazards at the later stage.
Very true, very true. Yes, sir.
From morning till evening, we see how people in the IT field are suffering because of continuous working, sedentary life. I think assume that a student at an early age start watching the videos, the online classes from morning till evening without any social interaction, and then conducting examination may hamper the health of the students, and also, the social problem may arise at a later stage. That is my
Very good. Dr. Sangameshwar sir, as we already came into the position about to take up pros and cons of the digital examinations, and you were you are one of the cyber crime person. I know well that you have been patented a lot of things into the cyber security zones. Jointly worked with digital Department of Science and Technology. Sir, your views on this? How digital examination play a vital role coming ahead? Do you think that any precautionary measures should be taken? Or you don't? Yes, sir.
Okay. What Dr. Gowda has mentioned, Sadashiva Gowda, regarding the full evaluation of a student cannot be done using digital system. So digital examination can be done only as a comprehensive exam at the end, whether how much he has learned in totally, but every details like design, analytics, descriptive, all those things should have been done at the continuous internal evaluation only. So I am coming to the end. The examination should be given a least importance, but evaluation by a community which teaches them. So this is possible at present in an autonomous system. It is not possible in an university. So that system has to change. The present state university systems has to change now. So it has to come to smaller portions where there is an interaction. As I mentioned earlier also, a teacher should know about a student who is answering these questions, whether it is not just an answer book itself. So he knows in detail. So which is very essential. So comprehensive exam at the end, one can do it. So that's why I told end exam should be at a minimum percentage. Maybe earlier, currently in our university where I was, we are doing 50% because of the lot of opposition. I wanted to have 40-60, 60 internal and 40 final end exam. So now we have to do it between 70 and 30%. So only digital is not the answer, but slowly we may get into that. You see, we can conduct competitive exams like GRE. Recently, my son took the GRE from home. So
Yes.
which
Oh.
cannot be done for our system. And how we can do it's a very difficult part. There is a lot of study is needed, as Madam from Savita has mentioned, Savita University. There is a need to have a lot of thinking, planning, and it may take more. It's not possible in a 1 year for as far as we are concerned. So at least 2 to 3 years. And practically, you can start with a PG program because numbers will be less.
Very
And
true.
we can start with a PG program, even with the bigger universities like VTU and all this. So a step-by-step approach can be done because it is highly scalable. If you take online programs, a student sitting at Mysore can take a MIT course, which was not possible earlier at all. So those things are possible. So we can start with a short upskill, what is skill development programs in this first initial stages, and then we can go for the further one. I would say this is not immediately, it is a difficult ball game.
Okay. So having said making a platform on the digital examinations, very similarly, if you look into the other part of the mirror, students' anxiety level will be equally more. Dr. Nalini Dwarkanath, madam, can you you come from a very enormous
Yeah, I
from
can take from
IISc.
here. See, proper planning was said. I've heard everybody's views extensively. So that proper planning over a period of time, we need to definitely take into account the students' perspective also, their understanding of the new system. I have one suggestion, as Sir said from Professor Sangameshwara, he said about in the continuous internal evaluation. So this MCQ or whatever that questions that can be done in the continuous evaluation system, that can be done. And at the end of the year, part A can have MCQs or something like that, and part B can have evaluation descriptive, which will cover both urban as well as the rural students. So that way, all these definitely requires proper planning over a period of time and taking into the account of students' abilities and their whatever accessibilities of technology or things like that. So the psychosocial aspects also come into the picture. So that's the thing.
That's a good idea. So it's a good set that for the students also how we have to get prepared, and by large, there is another focus.
Their anxiety level will be high because it is something new. So they need to be given proper guidance in that. Adjustment issues will be there because it's a new system. So the teacher's role also is very enormous here. They need to really give adequate time to help the students get acquainted with the digital examination right from the beginning. So it will be a continuous load on both the teachers as well as the students.
Very true. John Manohar sir, that you had something to say for us. You raised the hand. Why don't you unmute yourself and can jump into us if it is a hello, unable to join us.
Hello.
Yeah, you can speak. Yeah.
Hello, John Manohar sir. Please
continue.
I'm just sharing my views from the MBA perspective.
Please.
In fact, I would like to share my own personal experience, which happened in our college. Last week, in fact, we have scheduled online examination for all our 54 MBA students. And in the beginning, there was some sort of an apprehension from the student side. And on the day of the examination, you won't believe it, we were really surprised to see all 53 out of 54 were present happily writing the examination. The model what we followed is like this. We told the course teachers, course faculty members to schedule their examination from 9:30 to 11. And what happened is, they were informed to from 9:20 onwards, and the 10 minutes before the starting of the examination, they were supposed to upload the question paper through WhatsApp, which everybody did. So the 10 minutes is for the students to download the question paper, keep it ready for starting the examination. Sharp at 9:30 they started, sharp at 1 o'clock they finished, all pen and paper only. But all these things we were watching through the video. And how do they submit the answer script? It is like this. We have given another 20 minutes after this 11 o'clock deadline to scan the document, their USN number as the document name, and then send it to the respective faculty member's ID, which has been mentioned in the question paper itself. And before the schedule was made, we have sent enough circulars to the students with the guidelines as to what is to be followed, and how to log into the Zoom in and things like that. Everything went on perfectly without any hitches. And now we are all sitting and opening the scanned copy of the scripts and evaluating all that. Now even the students have now started telling that, sir, the second test can be conducted online. Now there are certain hitches also, right?
I understand there are the tools which can also take away the examinations value itself. There are the tools which will also uphold the the examinations also. My next question to Dr. Sanjeev Kumar sir.
Yes.
Say suppose coming from the technical university and you being a techie, say suppose that your university being a private university, scalable university, say suppose that we are going to impose the digital examinations from here onwards. Okay, there are two kind of issues that it might pop up. One of the faculty level, another being the student level. So I would urge you to set what could be the better reforms at the faculty level.
Well, Raghavendra, the first thing is, as you are aware of present situation, I watched the Nalini madam, where the online classes are conducted for the second standard student, first standard students, and all.
Absolutely.
Even the such a small level students are also getting aware of the online classes and all. Even our the grown up students group or youngsters, they are all adequate to the mobile technologies. So with that, the more enormous work on the teacher will be hereafter if it is digitalized, because they have to set lot of question papers. They have to make different questions for the same problem. Different approach can be. They have to make that, and then they have to upload. So if they see any students, if I want to say in a technical knowledge, they should show the technical skills first. So in order to show the technical skill, they should have, whether they have the technical skill or the problem solving skill and all those things can be seen with the different way of approach by the staff. Hence, the approach of the staff will be differed, and their way of representing the problems or the questions to the student should be changed. And this we need a lot of training for the staff.
Absolutely right. As they are teachers, their learning curve could have started dipping to a certain extent, and there could be a lot of resistance also for the learning more than a teaching. For themselves, learning could be a limitations also. Madam, Dr. Shiba Joshi, madam, I would like to ask you the very similar question, because university level is altogether different than to the autonomous institution than to the affiliated institutions, affiliated universities. So you come from the autonomous institution. How do you see that if tomorrow, if your autonomous institution is trying to rake up the digital examinations, yes, from here onwards we are going to go. How you as a teacher, and what could be the words for the younger faculty fraternity, and for those who are words to get retired from the the teaching community? What could be your words, and how you see a narrative set for the digital exams?
Yeah, sir. As Professor Dr. John Manohar rightly told, we also conducted online examinations for last month, sir. For our almost 3,500 students in our campus, we took that. So there we uploaded the question paper in Moodle server. We are already, our faculty members use that learning management system, LMS Moodle. So we uploaded the question paper, and they were able to, the students were able to download the questions only exactly 5 minutes before the examination. And once they completed, they scanned it using the CAM scanner, and they were able to upload it. And it went on seamlessly, except for very, very few students who were there in very rural areas, remote areas. Network issues were there only for a certain time. And so all the students were again monitored using Zoom. So all this is possible. But the time taken, that effort taken by the faculty has definitely has to increase. And as we all know, change is the only thing that is constant. So obviously, the faculty members have to upgrade themselves. Younger faculty members, it will be easier for them. And for older generation also, right now I can see senior people are well versed in all the technologies. Right now in Zoom also, most of the senior faculty members are there. So it is not that easy to, it is not that difficult to transform, but it will take some time. But proper training has to be given to the faculty members. There is no compromise on it. Unless we give proper training, it will be difficult for the faculty member to be comfortable with this, because say for example, if the faculty member has got around 20 years of experience, they would have used talk and chalk method, giving a question paper, distributing it, collecting it, arranging it. All that was their responsibility. That this is how they are used to. But right now, suddenly, if you're going to change, it will become difficult for them. So we need to do it. We need to give proper training. If at all we give training, I can vouch that definitely all the faculty members will be able to do their best, and we will be able to conduct digital examinations.
I'll definitely take it, because all the three of you people from the academic perspective, I will post the same question to Dr. Professor Rupesh Munada, being a university administrator. Sir, how do you able to set a narrative for digital examinations? Because yours is both medical and being an administrator could be quite challenging. And I would like to know, being yourself as an administrator, how you could able to implement it, possibly to implement, if yes, how you could able to achieve that?
Sir, actually, the question is half audible. I am not clear. But the thing what we have discussed in your earlier question, that online examination.
Yes.
So what we can have for medical student, what I have seen in last 1.5 years is the repeated questions are being asked. Suppose there are 100 questions, from that only 100 questions to 5 or 6 questions are appearing in the question paper. That is same for the engineering student as well as the management student. So if we change that methodology to prepare the questions, why not to have an open book examination? Because most of if we have the examination through Moodle or through Zoom or anything, student can take a snapshot, or he can refer to the books, or he can Google it up. These are the possibilities while writing examination at home only. So why not to make it as an open book examination? But the level of question should be like that student, we cannot get directly the answers from the textbook or Google or something. Student has to think, he has to apply his logic, what he has studied, and how he can use that material which is in front of him. We can give 10 books, or he can use any book or Google it or anything, but he cannot get direct answers from the notes or books.
Very true, very true. You mean to say that the technical universities and colleges are more kind of bookish, even medical is also falling into the prey. I leave it to the to Dr. Professor Dangameshwara sir to put a light on it, because it's a very good topic. Even I have heard about few many times that open book will be really challenged, because Western countries, Western-based universities also practice it. How do you see this open book or case study methods of examination, sir?
Okay, there are two aspects here. Before going to this open book, I would agree to a lot of things spoken by the Shiva Joshi madam, and some of the experiment done at MBA program by John Manohar. Yes. So what I would seriously tell, open book is not an easy type of thing, which most of the students will refuse to do that, because I have experience in my studies in Canada. This open book is not an easy topic. It is extremely difficult. So that's one part. Say how you conduct the exam, we have to leave it to the subject and the teacher's expertise. But the most important thing which we have to consider here is the training of the teachers to this kind of a system. As already mentioned, see, I will tell you, what is happening is in a regular question paper, if you take about 5 years, 5 papers, you make some here and there as mentioned, you get another 5 questions and do it. So what we have to do is you have to create designing a question itself is a new topic to be considered by the teachers, and also a question banks. In a case of online type of exam, you have to go for a question bank system, and you have to create a lot of questions because analytical questions are there. See, you can present question papers is not acceptable at all at present. What we did in our system is, if you have got 8 chapters, no choice, all 8 questions to be answered, but there will be an internal choice can be given. We did some experiment. I'm not telling to be same thing in online or anything, but online, we have to, the teacher has to be trained. It is another kind of a skill we have to develop with our present teachers. As mentioned, youngsters should be given more opportunity here, and also take some older people also along with them. And we have to do that kind of a situation. Otherwise, if it is not student not trained, teachers not trained properly, would it be very difficult? Open book is depending upon the situation, you can use open book or not.
Yeah. Can
Okay,
I just pitch in for one?
Yeah, of course.
section?
But the next pass was to you itself, because you have to handle 2 questions. One.
No, one I'll just come into
Please.
this aspect,
Yes.
because as already Professor from Siddhartha Engineering College has said, continuous internal evaluation, that plays a major role. And I've seen in IIITB, they are using the LMS and the Moodle system, to giving them the project weekly. They need to submit like that, so the continuous evaluation takes, and the teacher also gets to know this student is capable of this much and that and all. And so the evaluation is really, you can take it for vouch for the proper assessment of whatever the knowledge base of the student. That one. So continuous evaluation can be taken as a major thing, and at the end, whatever system like open book or whatever, or part, as I already said, part A keeps up MCQs and things like that, and then part B for descriptive, to balance both the rural side as well as the urban side. This is what ran through my thoughts as I was hearing, Professor.
Okay, Madam, as you come from the very the prestigious institutions, the level of universities, private universities or the autonomous institutions students getting in could be quite challenging for the students who get inside to the the esteemed institutions. You could have seen the creamy layer of the students who getting inside to the IIITB as well as IAC and other people. Setting the narrative to this pond of students and to that pond of students could be a very good altogether different situation. In such way, you would have seen PG students as well as PhD students getting acclimatized to the open book, because open book for me, I could see it as in a research way. You'll go through a lot of researches.
It is definitely useful, open book, because it throws such a challenge to the student that they need to learn from the page 1 to the end page. Unless they know what is in the content, they will not be able to use the book optimally to write also, right? That is the big challenge. So you are sure that definitely the student has to read at least 70% of the book before he sits for the open book or the answer.
Yes,
isn't it? So actually, so when we are talking about the academic aspects only, it is also running through my mind that the students' affective part, the behavioral aspect, psychosocial aspect, also somewhere the teachers have to take into account, because all the time
I would like to hold it there better, because my next question is that regarding
exposure to the digitization
Very
all
true.
the time.
Now I'll ask Dr. Sanjeev Kumar that he has something to to include on that, sir. Sir, do you would like to agree, or you would like to have some other views on this, sir?
See, this open book system was introduced in the BITS Pilani, I think 10 years before.
Correct.
When the university initially started, they introduced this scheme of open book system, and they run it for a short period. But afterwards, it failure, and then they have closed book, and then they went back to closed book.
Oh, okay, back to the secret books now.
So what is happening is the exposure to the digitization all the time. It's also leading. I'm seeing the students getting into aggressiveness. that part also needs to be addressed. So how far only we can bank upon the digitization alone
Yes.
needs to be given a valid attention to.
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that we'll going to take it up all these things, sir. My next question to Dr. Sadashiva Gowda, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
how no? You come from the autonomous institutions. As I already mentioned, the first answer itself, there could be phases. One first phase to four phases should be, irrespective of what of the phases the student can go. Every student and every teacher has got their own challenges. It could be urban-rural divide. It could be economy divide, or it could be the slow learning or quick learning divide. Irrespective of what of the device that the student or any community that that they carry forward as a stakeholders. My question to you is that how you curb the anxiety level of a student, because by and large faculty can be trained, but that they can be trained in TTT program, train the trainer programs or teacher train the teacher program and all. But student is like the flow of river, they continually flow. Okay, so how you try to curb the anxiety of the student, you being an administrator for a college as well as the university, sir?
Yes, sir. That's a great question. Sir, actually, there's no single solution to curb the anxiety of our students and the parents in the present situation. We need to do
Absolutely.
many things. We need to do many things. Number one, what I will tell you what we have done in our institute. Firstly, we send an SMS to every student almost every week, briefing about what is happening in the current situation. Number two, I also went live on Instagram, okay, listening to their problems and also understanding them and empathizing with them and answering their questions one by one. And also I hold class representatives meeting once in 2 weeks. We used to do once in a month, but now because of this situation, it warranted us to have once in a fortnight, which we did successfully. As
Mhm.
a result, and also we need to have a strong mentor mentee system in the institute, because we have for every 20 student there must be one faculty who is going to mentor the mentees, all the mentees. We made it mandatory that every week the mentor should call a student, find out what problem they are facing, whether they are facing with respect to online learning or any technical issues, whether they have problem with something like, for example, it could be examination anxiety. Just recently, yesterday, we sent a Google form to all the students. We have about 3,300 students in our institute.
Oh,
And
sounds
we
good.
sent a Google form, and no, we have asked specific questions, whether, what is the greatest problems you are facing, or the fear, or the anxiety. 80% of the students said that they are worried about examination. So,
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah, and the second one is they're worried about the career. What is going to happen in the future, particularly the final year students.
Very true.
In that, now what we are planning to do, I'm going to address all those issues on Monday. So, see, we need to interact with our student community as often
Yes.
as possible to
Yes.
remove this apprehension. That is one important thing. Second thing is the faculty under whom you have 20 students, they need to talk to them and address their issues. Giving some kind. We need to. Most important, we need to empathize with them. If the empathy part is not there, I think we are creating a lot of anxiety amongst our student community. And whenever they send an email or an SMS, particularly in this period, we need to reply honestly. Assume that you do this kind of interactions, it is possible for us to overcome the anxiety part amongst our students.
Professor Raghavendra, can I just
Yeah,
pitch
yeah,
in?
please, please, please. You're
My experience with interacting with many autonomous universities and all that. See, the teachers who are playing the role of mentors should be convinced of the system. They should have positive opinion about that. Only then they will also be able to talk to the students positively. If they are not convinced of the system initially, then the whole system collapses. So as rightly says, and whatever sir has spoken just now is really very, very, very good. Open talk with the students to
very true.
understand their problems. That is very important. And then to have open conversation to understand their feelings, their affective domain, and then give positive strokes to alleviate their fears. And we need to really talk. For this, the teacher's role plays a predominant role, because they should be first convinced of the successful of the program,
Sure,
success of the
sure.
program,
Pretty
isn't it?
sure.
So that,
I'm pretty convinced with the argument set by Dr. Sadashiv Gowda as well as you, ma'am.
and the students will have plenty of doubts.
Very
Very
true.
patiently, the teachers have to have real patience and then answer if they have to
See,
stretch a bit.
as a control
Yeah.
of examinations, I need to let you know that even though I can able to prepare 1,000 facts, frequently asked questions, there will be 1,001 question point posted by a student. Now, we may not have an answer for that.
No.
For that we should have a collective.
No, from teachers' point, what they would come and ask me is that you're talking like this, but then we need to complete our portions. Where do we have time? So this is one thing that, so from that angle, they are not very happy that to take any extra work or challenges. So first, the teachers need to be given adequate training or exposure to be convinced that this could be a successful program down the line.
Very
Then
true, very
alone they will take it positively to the students and keep motivating them. Then it will
Yes.
become a success.
Okay, I'll take it this to the next level of next level with for an argument by Dr. John Manohar sir. Sir, we are talking about the digital examinations and all other things. Okay, you come from the HR domain, from the management perspective. You always often find the students from the low learning, slow learning perspective, quick learning perspective, or a moderate person or a mediocre student. How do you able to suggest or try to say that what affects actually these people in terms of the digital examinations? If you consider digital examinations shall be for tomorrow's futuristic game plan, people like slow learners or quick learners or mediocres by themselves, okay, there could be various phase of in a student community. You being a HR perspective, how you able to tackle the situation? What is your opinion on this?
I fully subscribe to your views that, I mean, in fact, many of the participants also have, panel members also have suggested that this transition cannot take place overnight. So we need to do it in a very, very phased manner and in a very careful
Systematic.
manner. In fact, yeah, rightly said, systematically. No, in fact, for the project, what we have done is, again, we have conducted online Viva, which, happened to be a successful one, in fact. We never thought that all 54 will, come online and make a presentation of their project work. Now, as far as this particular transition is concerned, it is not that students are against it. For every change, there will be some sort of a what do you call apprehension being expressed by the students. Now we have to, as I rightly the principal pointed out, we should be having a lot of patience in terms of convincing the students and take them along with us. Now, if you don't do that, then your entire exercise of doing this itself will be a utter failure. So you have to have a lot of patience, and especially the present generation. I mean, the younger generation of the faculty members have to understand what is the role they have to play in terms of approaching the students and convincing them as to have this transition. No, in fact, as I was telling you in the beginning itself, a lot of my students are very happy with the online teaching because we don't force them to have one full day session. We have just planned only 3 sessions a day for the first years as well as for the second years. And every 40 minutes, in fact, we have given the choice to the faculty members also. If you are registering for the Zoom meeting through your college website, mail ID, you can have 3 hours also continuously without having any break. Now, if you are registering through your personal ID, you'll have only 40 minutes. It will allow you to have only 40 minutes class. So they said, no, we'll go in for that, but the choice is left to the student whether to have 40 minutes class or 2 hours class or even 1.5 hours class and all. So even the afternoon which they are free, they are able to give them the extra input based on whatever students ask. So this is how this model itself works.
I'll repost this the same to Dr. Nalini Dwarkanath, madam, because you always come support to a student community by large. I understand.
Yes. That
because
is what.
being a psychologist, how do you define the cognitive skills, affective skills, psychomotor skills? Do you think that this kind of examination going to affect such skills where the student
See,
inherently.
let me start from the anxiety, the focus on the term anxiety that you started with.
Yes.
Any new event, situation, or environment definitely poses a felt threat initially for anybody till the person gets acclimatized or gets used to the new environment or the new model or anything. That anxiety will be enormous. So the adjustment issues will be also felt. So here is where the role of teachers play predominant role, and they need to really talk to the students to understand their fears. We do not know what kind of fears, and whether it is coming from their thinking part of it or from their affective domain, as you said. And it is, see, now the digitization is only going to is affecting their physical aspects. They're all the time glued to the screen.
Very
So
true.
there are physical effect like eyes, the part of it. Now there's a research paper also is telling that the myopia that is seen in very early stages in younger children, earlier it used to be genetic, but now it is acquired, is what the research paper says. That is
That's
because of
true.
the technology usage, because you see the children are also using a lot the mobile for playing games and all that. So
Yes.
how the screens, the technology is affecting the students both at the cognitive level. Cognitive is thinking level, right? It is, the research also again has proved that this over usage of technology creates stereotype in the minds, so that affects the creativity. That is what one of the professors also said, that so the creative domain gets affected, so that has to be addressed. Then the behavioral aspect, as I already said, that aggressiveness,
Very true.
more use of technology, the mobile, you see, we say today we see the stress level huge among this IT people. Why? Because they're all the time glued to the screen. So they're losing out on many aspects. So that is leading to aggressiveness. Then marital issues. So many issues are coming into. Now we are seeing the same thing among the students. The focus is lost.
Very true.
Attention aspect is lost. Concentration is lost. So we need to take all these psychosocial aspects also while we think about the
Sure. Sure.
digitization.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
yeah, when we are talking about, you said about cognitive, is it the
Yeah.
psychomotor ability?
Psychomotor skill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ability. It refers to the wide range of actions involving physical movement related to conscious
as well as mental.
cognitive processing. So that affects. That affects.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because this is a new addition skill set for the student.
Yeah.
That is been compromised with another three, which by
The-
large,
there's a
psychomotor skills will be.
psychomotor disturbance. That means it is a feeling of it creates anxiousness and restlessness, because you're not relating with the teacher or anybody. You're only glued to the machine,
Yes.
and that itself poses an anxiety,
Very true.
and restlessness develops. And this is what is seen in the affective domain of the students.
Yes, even
So
I agree with you, because one of the industrial engineering research paper, the man-machine research and its age is actually coming down. I substantiate with your views regarding about the psychomotor skills is getting down because of the technical skills are getting more aggressive in stature.
no, aggressive behavior today we are seeing among the young children also, the impulsivity, right from the small young age group to the adolescent to the young adults. We are seeing they want impulsivity. What I mean to say is that immediate results. They don't have
Yes,
patience to wait, go through the process, or understand that I want to know just like that. So
very true.
this kind of thing gets set in
I'll
when
I'll
we are
I'll
glued to the
I'll repost this to
yeah.
Dr. Shiba Joyce, madam. Thanks for the the abundant information about this. Dr. Shiba Joyce, madam, that you come from the electronic communication field. How
Yes,
do
sir.
you actually see the technical skills is actually dominating any students the biological skills, that what the student carries, cognitive, affective, as well as psychomotor. How do you feel that technical skills, is it really over dominating, or do you feel that there is something which could be addressed now?
Yeah, as Nalini madam rightly pointed out, they are technically very sound. They are very very sound. They are very brilliant compared to even since they are millennials, Gen Z generation. They are definitely very tech savvy. So no doubt about it. But the thing is, they also lack the focus. because they are so much glued to the system. They're so much attracted to the mobiles. There are lots of, it is very easy for them to get distracted when they are totally into the net, because when they might be studying from one tab, another tab, lot of things pop out. So it is very difficult to have concentration, focus when they are going to use complete technology. So empathy, as Sadasiva Gowda sir depicted, empathy is really, really needed at this juncture. So what we have to do is we have to put ourselves in his position, and we need to take care of him. So if at all he realizes that the faculty is really interested, very much really interested in my life and in my welfare, then he will listen to whatever we tell. So, but it definitely will take time for the faculty member to handle the student. It is not that easy to do it, because the time it takes is going to be more. While preparing for the online classes or for online examination, the time taken is definitely a biggest challenge for the faculty members. Added to this, the faculty members also have to take care of the students. So we should also think in this juncture, it is our responsibility to also think about the stress undergone by faculty as well. So I would like to elaborate on this. I request Dr. Nalini Madam to elaborate on this regarding the anxiety level that will be on the faculty members as well.
I'm pretty sure, madam, if you ask right
Yeah.
now, I'm pretty sure more than 24 hours you could keep on discussing about it. I'm pretty sure about it. Okay.
No,
I have a
stress.
very
I will briefly answer that. I'll just briefly
please,
answer.
please,
Yes,
please, please.
stress definitely cannot be avoided. There are two things: eustress and distress. Eustress is that which we know that if I do this, it will give me this productivity. So that we will when whatever gives us some returns, we will definitely indulge in, and then we enjoy doing it, and will not take it as a stress. Even if the stress, we will love by the end of the work.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Ma'am.
So that is one thing. So the distress, yes, when it comes to the question of distress, all that we need to do is to get ourselves acquainted with managing the stress. Here comes the role of how to manage the stress. One is understanding the stress and the stressors. What is giving me the stress? How can I address it? Is it avoidable or unavoidable? If it is avoidable in terms of time management or resource or anything, that can be taken care of. If it is unavoidable, yes, then you need to develop acceptance. That is the first thing. Once anything you develop acceptance, yes, I have to do it. You can't avoid, because the management expects, the system expects, this is what I need to do. Then there is no way that you can avoid it. So what you need to do is you have to accept you have to develop acceptance. Once the acceptance develops, the anxiety level comes down. Then there are steps to understand the stress management. So that by itself is a course.
We need to
And
have a separate
briefly,
course for that.
briefly, no, one should indulge in any hobbies of whatever you are interested. If you are interested in music, if you are, some kind of physical exercise definitely is required for that me time for everybody. As a lady, yes, we have to manage both the house as well as the
Absolutely,
workplace.
Absolutely.
So that itself poses a big challenge to us. So
Very
that
true.
we need to really take that me time of at least the half an hour, where you can, whatever you want to do, dance or exercise or read a book or whatever, that should definitely be not taken away from your day-to-day routine.
Very
And
true, very
physical
true.
exercise is very much required. And now, especially in the COVID pandemic situation, it is, I'm continuously reading that yoga, pranayama is the thing which will help you to increase your lung space. This cannot be avoided, but you can address it by increasing your immunity level. That is so, to do increase your immunity level, whatever you can do, you need to do. This is just one small example I'm just giving. So stress management is the thing that is required for the teachers. I am with the teachers, definitely. It is a huge challenge for the teaching community now. I'm sure many of them are not willing to come to that aspect at all now, going into other fields of.
Yes,
I
yes,
would like
I
to
understand.
Sir, I would
Yeah,
like to add one more thing on this.
please.
Yeah.
Just overcoming how we can, as a faculty member, how we can overcome the stress. Recently, I attended a 5-day workshop which was conducted by AICT on universal human values.
Okay.
If every faculty attends that workshop and perhaps implement in their life, they will have happiness continuously.
Yeah.
Okay.
See
No,
that
I
we
don't know
have
yeah,
about
a,
that workshop.
that
we have a,
values.
One value.
I would like to, stop here because, we have a 5-decade teacher before us, advisor from AICT itself. Dr. Sangmeshwar sir, we would like to know from you because you have been worked for since ages.
Fine. I agree with Dr. Sadashiv Gowda's effort for a mentoring. A mentoring system is a good system one can immediately implement. The real fact is you have to know the workload of a teacher first.
Correct.
See, what the teacher currently in a regular institute teaches about 32 units or 16 units or 32 hours, whatever it is, 8 hours, 2 subjects.
Sir, 32 units, sir.
32 units. And not only that, he has to do work with for ranking, NIRF, accreditation. In these things are all being put across. And now
Administrative
you are
works.
administrative works, and you are telling this another thing. So we have to look into seriously. Mentoring is the only system which we can work because it is 10 students, 20 students, which we can do it. It fails most of the time in the other situations. I congratulate because he's saying they're very successful. But most of the time, this mentoring, half of the teacher does and half of doesn't do anything. So we have to be careful on that. But that is very essential. So the whole idea is you have to identify the weak student. It is not academically weak. It is in all respect who is weak has to be identified and then start working with him. There should be a counselor in an institute all the time. And all these are essential. The workload of a teacher has to be seriously considered. Otherwise, he will get stressed. You need another program for him to set right. So it is a very serious matter. So that has to be taken care. Currently, we don't keep the ratios as mentioned by ICT or the UGC, the staff students. There will always a stress on the teacher. So teacher stress has to be seriously looked into. Otherwise, it is a very serious matter for anybody. If a person who is mentoring itself is not okay, then the situation would be very bad. So I agree with all the participants, their efforts, and very good suggestions have come and experiments have been made. So we are in the transition period. We keep doing the exercise.
Yes,
We
sir.
will come to
And,
some conclusion.
One aspect,
I would.
Professor Raghavendra, I've
Yes,
seen
sir.
is in mentoring
Yes,
us.
ma'am.
Just in continuation of this, in mentoring work, what the teachers feel, more of paperwork is there. So if something can be done to reduce that paperwork, I think the stress level also will come down. One aspect. Another thing, as rightly sir said, if 10 students are there, not all the 10 would require mentoring. So there may be 2 who require intense help, hand holding. Another 2 may be average. So the teachers can segregate and accordingly they can pay their attention to the most deserving students to give them that kind of support or hand
Very true.
holding.
Absolutely.
So that will also help them reduce their stress, and
I would.
not that should leave the others because students always feel, oh, the teacher gives only attention to XYZ, not to me. So not to leave them also, just can be keeping in touch with them also now and then, but more attention to the most deserving students. I vouch for that statement.
Yes. I'm very happy. As we would like to, come to the, to the end of the, the session. Now, takeaway points. What I would like to know from my panel members is, say, what is your stance? Which examination bound to yield more? Is it a conventional examination going to yield more, considering all the facts, all the stakeholders, or the digital examinations? We have discussed enough about online examinations, digital examinations. I would like to take a cue from John Manohar, sir. Sir, your experience on this, sir.
No, as I was telling you, it takes some time to do it in a very phased manner.
Yes.
To adopt this, replace this conventional way of conducting the examination. So we'll have to carry out both side by side in such a way that you make the students aware that we are serious about conducting this digital examination. So also, which will be of help to them.
Yes.
Which will definitely help to them.
So
I consider this way that we are in transition period. What do you
We
say,
are
Dr. Sanjeev Kumar sir? Do you have any other comments on this?
Yes, yes, sir.
How about Dr. Shiva
What you
Joshi?
said is actually correct.
Dr. Sanjeev Kumar sir.
State. We are in the transition state.
This is actually a opportunity for us,
yes,
to explore us.
Yes.
How about you, Dr. Shiva Joshi, madam?
It is
Yeah,
not
sir.
only for us, just a minute, not only for, it is an opportunity not only for the teachers, but also for the students to start a companies to drive the technologies for creating the platforms.
Absolutely, absolutely. I also believe that, even our own internal faculty teachers can able to come up with such kind of a platform.
Yes,
We need not to vouch for, some outsiders to heavily depend on those people.
Definitely.
How about you, Dr. Sadashiv Gowda, sir? Do you have any, final points to conclude here?
Yeah, yes, sir. Sir, one important thing is the examination, in India, where students believe that all the skills are tested. So you need to have both conventional and also digital. Then you will be in a position
That is what I wanted to tell, sir. Actually, we can have a blended mode.
Absolutely,
As
yes.
we do it for blended teaching learning, we can also go for a blended mode. Sorry for interrupting. Maybe formative assessments we can have it for. We'll try to have it online so that we can give training to students as well.
Very
yes,
true.
sir.
Yes,
Sir, Raghavendra sir.
Yes, Dr.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. As far as your question paper pattern is concerned,
yes.
No, let us not concentrate too much on testing their knowledge. Rather than, instead of going in for testing their knowledge, you can always go for, situation-based questions. At least for MBA, that is what we have been doing. To help them to get score marks, we give them direct 3 marks question, even in online also. But at 7 and 10, we always make it a point to go in for only situation-based questions, wherein they will have a practical exposure. If not in the field directly, you give them the situation and ask them to analyze the situation and come out with the possible solutions. I mean, whatever they give is not the ultimate solution, but possible solutions according to
this is time bound solutions.
I did not, sir, I did
that may not help to all the streams of education.
No, I'm talking about, that's what I said in the beginning itself. I'm only talking from the MBA perspective.
But for the other aspects, probably we can focus more on their understanding, application aspect, whatever the domain, be it engineering or arts or science or anything, focus on application. So that will give us both knowledge as well as their understanding. That will help.
Yeah.
I think subscribe. Yes. Now, sir, final words, Dr. Sangameshwar, sir.
This is Raghavendra. This should be implemented in a phase-wise manner. You have to have a duration of 2 to 3 years from now. You may say it is too long, but it is necessary. And training of teachers is a very important factor. And designing a question paper, everything has to be trained. You have to experiment slowly, first in the internal tests, and then slowly into practicals, and then slowly 50%, 30% like that. You have to plan very well. And it can be different modes for different institutions. Because whatever is comfortable to them can be done. But hurriedly, if you do it, you end up in the same way as in US at present. You go to court. People will go to court and you will be in trouble.
Yes. Administrators will be in trouble. That's very true. Sir, your last words, Dr. Sadashiva Gowda, sir.
Sir, as I was mentioning, a blended mode is more convenient for most of the institutions.
I agree with that.
Yes. Right. Dr. Nalini Dwarkanath, madam, few words up from you.
Development of all the skills requires practice. So more attention for practice and internalizing the system, as sir rightly said, start from internal assessment and all that. So phased manner, old pattern. I just on the lightest vein, when we start the LKG system, teaching the alphabet A, the
Yes.
child is taught A, the child writes A, the one full page. When it is taught
Yes.
B, A is reduced, B will be more. So like that. So I'm just to put it on the lighter way. So
And I
as
could able
we,
to understand
yeah,
with the experience what happening at my family right now.
yes.
You know,
So
that I take it that the training is more required at this manner, this phase.
So to conclude, we need to address the adjustment issues of the students, understand
Yes.
their anxiety, I mean their problems, alleviate their fears, and then do everything possible to reduce their anxiety so that they get used to the new digital mode of
Thank you.
assessment.
Thank you for your last few encouraging words. Ladies and gentlemen, faculty, students who have been listening here, we would like to wind up over here. The takeaway points right now here, what you could able to see, we are all discussing about the university examinations in pursuit, so that whether the conservative examinations are better or the digital examinations are better, which still bound to be tested. Conventional examinations, we all are being graduated, and for digital examinations we are not being graduated, and there are a lot of exams to be, there are agencies which have a lot of resistance. Say for example, my good friend the Professor Rupesh was talking about MCA cannot come into the digital examinations because they deal with the health and they deal a lot of in other perspectives out of it. There are a few reservations from the from the technical colleges perspective. Rightly, Dr. Shiba Joyce madam and Dr. Sadashiva Gowda was for it, that there are certain courses which we cannot able to even evaluate it at digital platforms. So considering this, one final conclusions what all the panel members came to know, able to say, even Dr. Sanjay Kumar votes for it, Dr. Sangameshwara sir also votes for it, and most of the people votes for it, that integrated courses, like the way that we have integrated courses, integrated examinations is a better approach at this stage. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen, that you're going to accept me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
100%.
Because I still remember that integrated courses, blending two courses, practical
And
courses as
theory.
well as the theory courses came with integrated courses. If I could able to take a cue, it was way back implemented in 2007 by Dr. B.G. Sangameshwara, way back, very back. I'm 13 years back. He introduced integrated course. I still firmly believe that integrated examinations, perhaps out of 4 or 5 subjects, 2-3 will be allotted to digital examinations, or 3-4 will be allotted for the conservative examinations. So likewise, another 3 years, what Dr. Sangameshwara said, even Dr. Nalini Dwarkanath madam said that let us take a plan wise after let us mark up to 5 years. Why not 2-3 years? Let us mark for 5 years. Let all the young to the young faculties, middle-aged faculties, even who are virgin getting retired, get acquainted to the new technology. Hopefully, at the simultaneously, what are the pros and cons of the students, how it is approachable. We need to understand the different stakeholders with different sets of constraints, economical constraints, urban rural constraints, and their positioning towards the institutions constraints. There are a lot of other constraints which actually play a very pivotal role before declaring that digital examination is the way to head. I consider this webinar is a stepping stone. We are neither not gone ahead of it, nor we are not behind of it. Okay, if you look into it, there are other set of student community who are actually waiting to get admitted to the university level. We also find their troublesome, and I think next seminar should be highlighting and trying to meet their expectations of examinations. What I believe is that +2 students, second PUC students, or +2 students, they're also having a very anxiety level. They're carrying more anxiety as compared to the university level students. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure that you all agree with me. Amaya,
Yes,
I ask you to take a few questions, one or two, as time is very limited. Panel
Yes.
members also have other.
One suggestion I just would like to if you
Please.
permit me.
Please, ma'am.
As I've seen Siddhalinga Institute of Technology, Tumkuru has added or giving one paper as additional psychology and marketing psychology.
Very
This
good.
is
Very good.
psychology helps people to understand oneself. You know, that definitely helps them to,
I will, madam,
yeah.
I will
We also give a one
I
credit
will
paper, madam.
definitely pass it
Yeah,
to Dr.
see,
Vijay
no,
Sangam sir.
Psychology for professionals was
I
the
have
paper.
I have heard Dr. APJ saying in Indian Institute of Science once saying that humanities should be blended along with any stream of study. So if
Very
that
true.
comes into vogue, you know, they themselves get to know many aspects of life, be it academics or professional or personal life also. You know,
Madam,
help them. That will.
to add on over here, a flavor, you put the right ball at the right platform. You have a former advisor from AICT.
No, because I had
Definitely
a chance to
convey.
go to SIT as an
Yes,
examiner for psychology.
very
I
good.
just
He will
I came
definitely
to know about
convey.
it.
He will definitely
Yeah.
going to convey to his friend Dr. Anil Sastra Buddhe. I'm pretty sure, sir. I'm pretty sure that you're going to influence him in this regard.
Fine,
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
I
And
would like
autonomous
to
institutions. Yes, sir.
one more as psychology as a part of the system, social science
Yes.
should be a subject, because when I studied long ago the BSc in Mysore University, we had a social science as a part of our course. So which is solely exited from the system.
Correct.
So it is very essential. Like in engineering, a social engineering, that is society driven type of things, should be a part of our curriculum. Very essential.
And one more thing is that the academicians should really pay, I mean, in coordination with the counselors, whoever are in the institute. Very often the coordination
Will
is
be
not
poor.
seen, you know.
I
So the
agree.
taking the problems of the students to
see,
the,
I could able to have a very collective,
yes,
problems which from this webinar. I will take a list out of it and we'll definitely going to discuss
yes,
it as the, we have started ball rolling. And
very nice.
we will take one particular issue. We all discuss with this and all the faculty community. Ameya, do you
Yes,
find
sir.
any questions from the faculty fraternity so that my
Sir,
panel members can able to take it up?
Sir, most of the questions have answered, but the most common question on our YouTube community was like, what about the rural areas particularly, which don't have any resources at all? Means,
Yes.
how about online exam? Because they cannot even afford the regular examination. How will they be able to afford online examination?
See,
And the second question, which was very common, was like, around 2 or 3 years back, I think there was a new announcement that gradation. In gradation, all the students who have failed, they will be promoted automatically, and only the last semester examinations will be taken. So
yes.
I would like you to address these two issues before we
Pretty
can
sure.
close this
Yes,
session.
yes, yes. Dr. Shiba Joshi, madam, I hope that you could able to take up this question.
With
Yeah.
regarding, sir?
Regarding about the urban and the rural divide.
Yeah, sir. In rural areas, we had this problem. This problem still persists. That is a major challenge that need to be addressed before going on online. In rural areas, it is difficult for them to get food itself. They struggle for their livelihood. In that condition, expecting them to spend more for data packet is going to be a challenge. It is definitely a challenge which probably the management institutions can consider, or we have to bring them to rural urban areas, or as previously suggested, they can go to a nearest center,
Campus.
nodal center, where they can go and attend the examination.
Yes.
That is one possibility which we can try, but it will remain a challenge until it is getting settled down.
Challenge by
To add to
assuming
that,
network itself.
yeah, to add to that, the CSR of industries can be approached. So the academic and the industry interaction is now really predominantly seen at every level, in every institute,
Very true.
especially the autonomous, and also we can approach the companies, their corporate social responsibility to set up nodal,
Absolutely right.
as many nodal centers as possible. Here again, I remember Dr. APJ's Pura, urban rural
Pura.
divide, addressing
Very
that.
true.
So
Very true.
that
Absolutely.
somebody should take it up very seriously and help the industry take it up and put it in practice. Many things of Dr. APJ, whatever he has said, he focused only on rural.
Yes.
bringing the gap of urban and rural divide, narrowing down the distance.
Yes,
That is,
yes.
I think that if
that was his views for India
is was
2020
pet
also.
program,
Yeah.
it was his pet program. If
Very
that
true.
can, if that could be brought into vogue, it will really go a long way to help the rural urban
Yes,
divide.
Thank
yes,
you
sir.
so much, Nalini ma'am and Shiva
Dr.
ma'am,
Yeah.
because
Sanghamsha, sir.
what made me feel bad was yesterday we received one call from a principal of the hometown from where I come, and he told me that will we able to get a YouTube link of this session after the pandemic is over. So I
Oh.
told him that you can join
Okay.
via YouTube live, but he told me that our students, they all come from the village area, they hardly even have mobile phones, and those
Yeah.
who have mobile phones, they are not even Android, and they don't even have data pack. So
Okay.
that really saddened me that some people like us, we have came so far from our villages and all, but some people are still stuck in those areas. And
I
so
think engineering institutions can also promote this Pura program to bring it into limelight and make it into
Yeah,
more
madam.
I
effective.
would
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
request all the
Yeah.
dignitaries who are guiding us today that after the session, if possible, we will combine a list of all these points and these initiatives which you all know, because I think everyone knows about these initiatives like Pura program and those, and we will be sharing it with all the participants. I hope
Yes.
you all are fine with it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also,
of
Yeah,
course, of course.
definitely.
hello.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Also,
Yes,
under
sir.
Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, some institutes have adopted a couple of villages. For example, our institute has adopted 5 villages. I think we can,
Wonderful, sir.
yeah, and there I think we can look into this aspect also, internet bandwidth. I think that is go a long way in providing IT infrastructure in the rural areas.
Sure, sir. Vijay Sanghamsha, sir, you had something say?
Yeah, see, we are all discussing, but for immediate action, one is the nodal campus, as I mentioned earlier,
Very true, sir.
can be taken as a part of it for bigger universities like VTU and state universities. The other thing is we have to, if it is not possible for a certain number of students to come to the campus and take exam, for such student we can conduct after the problems are over. We can conduct, because it will be a short number and within the institution.
Very true, very true.
They can be conducted one more exam for them and consider them. So currently, immediately, you can't increase the bandwidth, provide the infrastructure facility and all this in the rural
Exactly, sir.
is not at all possible. So we have to take serious practical problems. And I would suggest this nodal campus for a bigger universities. For smaller universities, they can conduct an exam because the numbers would be very small. They can conduct another exam for them.
Very true, very true.
Another
Giving them another opportunity.
opportunity. Another thing we have experimented and very successful is we never conducted any end exam for the practicals. So what we do is we conduct regularly the exam. After the experiments have been done at the class, immediately an exam is conducted, test is conducted, and we accumulate all the marks. Because what we are doing in a regular practical exam is we take 10 experiments and give 1 or 2 by lottery system, and he will do it. So this is not a correct way of doing it, and he never learn also. A person who is lucky who get the same which he studied and all this. So instead of that, continuous internal evaluation for lab should be done.
Exactly.
No final exam, because moving out of teachers from one place to another, external, internal, all kind of problems can be eliminated.
Avoided.
See, the exam should be conducted with a trust. If you don't have a trust, we cannot conduct a proper exam system.
Absolutely.
So in our present system, everybody doubts the other person. So
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
a serious matter. So you should
Very
not
true,
have
sir.
policing. Policing should be completely eliminated from the examination system. Then only we can have a comfortable exam system.
Exactly.
Academic
This is a
honesty should be
very
there.
it's a
No, we
very
have to
right.
create, madam. We have to
Yeah,
create.
it's a very right and apt word. Removal of policing system from examination shall be the next debating topic for you all people.
Yes. Good, good. We have enough.
Am I clear
topics.
with you? With this,
Yes, yes.
I will
Thank you.
take a last question, which was said by Amey Agarwal collectively. Why people of last year students have been taking exams than compared to the rest of the people. See, very clear about it. These are known to be as outgoing students. Students who leave the university or campus. We can't able to ask them or welcome them back or only for the sake of the examination. So before going outside, we will try to test their, whatever the knowledge which they have been gained over this particular problematic time. I'm pretty sure that examinations could be little easy compared to the previous kind of examinations. Wherein those students who are in first year, second year, third year, no, if there could be a possibility exemption of taking an examination at this point of time, it did not mean that you should not take examination for the before the commencement of next academic year. As now we are slowly getting into the summer vacation for the the community, the student community. Let this particularly the pandemic situation get nullified, so that the examinations will be definitely considered. And I'm pretty sure that the examinations is not actually known to be for threatening for someone's knowledge, or trying to defeat some other person. No moral policing. That is what sir said, and I still leave it to the Dr. Biji Sangham. You had a last word now. Yes, sir.
See, for the final year is concerned, if you cannot wait till the problem is the COVID problem is completed, or so what we can do is we can cut down the curriculum to a certain extent and conduct the exam. Without an exam, current situation, your degrees will not be valid properly at the outside world. So currently, so we have to conduct an exam for final year. You can plan anyway in maybe immediately after this, maybe after 17th of May permitted, otherwise June first week conduction of the examination. But you cannot say to other junior groups not to have any exam at all. It is not correct. So they have to have some test had to be done, which can be done in the current next academic beginning of the year, as Sadashiv Gowda given the every week one exam and all this. But some people can be done together 1 week, 2 weeks, exam complete, and then start the regular courses. So exam at present situation, we cannot send anybody like earlier we used to call it as a Gandhi pass. So like that we should not do it. We COVID pass or a Corona pass cannot be done. So they have to take the exam. And
Yes.
they should go it. But how you conduct is to be left with the current environment, local environment.
Sir, final year students are already adults, right?
Yes,
Young
yes,
adults. So adult learning, they can learn the lessons by themselves, and wherever they have the doubts, they can approach the faculty instead of
absolutely, you're right, madam.
Instead of putting the portions or anything away.
Yes.
Let it go on. Let them learn. So probably what can be done in evaluation, self-learning questions. So some weightage to that, some kind of mode probably can be incorporated.
Yes. In fact, there is a course of self-learning is introduced in some of the universities.
I will take that.
Higher the course, more of adult learning and less of.
I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry to intervene here. Time is a constraint. We got other webinars to go. We will wrap it up over here. Next topic is already been said by Dr. Biji Sangham, policing. We are definitely going to discuss about that. Okay. And I thank everyone, all the faculty, fraternity who have been joined here, and all the panel members who have been here. I'm so happy that you all been here to discuss about the decoding examinations post-pandemic COVID-19. We will look forward for you for the next discussions as we already started ball rolling today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you all.
So much, everyone. Thank you so much. We
Thank you, madam.
really appreciate participation from all the academic partners and the
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Sangameshwara, Dr. Professor Raghavendra, Sanjeev Kumar sir, Nalini ma'am, Shiba Joyce ma'am, Ramle sir, Mundada sir. I really want to thank you all, Dr. Manohar sir also for your guidance throughout this session. For the audience, I hope you all enjoyed the session. I hope our team kept it interactive on the YouTube, and I hope that you will be taking away some valuable points. And with the permission of our guides, we will be sharing some detailed points which we discuss in this webinar with you all on the email, so you can instantly implement them at your organization. And I really look forward to participation from all of you in our next session. And I thank you again wholeheartedly to everyone who is guiding us today. And it's such a privilege and such an honor for your overwhelming response and support, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Thank you,
before
sir.
we
Thank you.
end the meeting on the YouTube channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel so everyone can benefit. Yes, and do check out the institution's page. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
all.
you. Thank
See
you.
you soon
Thank
in
you.
the next webinar.
you,
Thanks
sir.
a lot.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.